Hello and welcome once again. I am the Otaku, and today we are looking at the Star Wars Battlefront EE-3 blaster, or what I like to call the sharpshooter. This blaster is used by the famous bounty hunter Boba Fett, and with this blaster you can definitely say I always make my mark. Going by Battlefront's description, the EE-3 is a scope-fitted blaster rifle with 3-round burst fire, which is great for long-range engagements. I call this blaster the sharpshooter because it does just that, and very, very well. This means that hallways, 1v1 face-offs, or any situation when you are shooting straight down sight at a target is going to work in your favor. Because of that, I would recommend using your jetpack to position yourself on a higher vantage point like Boba Fett does, and then picking off your targets from there. If in close quarters, make sure you are behind cover at all times, peeking in and out to burst fire. Pulling up the stats once again from Synthic.com, which I will put in the link in the description below if you want to check out on your own, you will see that the EE-3 has a base damage of 21 up to 10 meters. After that, the damage will start to drop off, and by 60 meters goes down to 12. Remember that this is a 3-round burst though, which means the damage is multiplied by 3. So at close range you are actually doing 63 damage per burst, assuming that all 3 rounds hit the target. And because the damage on this blaster is dropping off at such a long distance instead of something like 20 or 30 meters like other blasters, you should still be able to get a 2-shot kill up to 15 to 25 meters. Many people like to use the explosive shot star card, which will guarantee a 2-burst kill up to a staggeringly far distance. At longer ranges, things start to get a little bit tricky. The damage has already dropped off significantly, which means you will need a 3 or 4 bursts per kill. It also becomes increasingly difficult to land all 3 shots from each burst onto the target. If the enemy moves even the slightest, then your second or third round can easily miss. The EE-3 has a rate of fire of 800 RPM during burst, but because there is a delay between shots, it's actually more like 120 RPM. At close range, when all of your shots can connect, and you only require 2 bursts, then you are taking advantage of this very high RPM. However, missing your shots will greatly increase the time it takes to get a kill, because you are waiting for the delay. Not to mention that during this time, you are very vulnerable, so it is highly advised to be accurate when you are using this weapon. The EE-3 has a base recoil of 0.1 horizontally and vertically. It has a base spread of 0, like the E11, and increases at 0.1 per shot. This kind of recoil and spread is virtually nothing to begin with, but because there's the delay between shots, you can literally forget about it because it pretty much won't affect you at all. You do need to worry about overheating with this blaster. You can fire up to 6 bursts, and then you will have to wait for it to reset. The good news, though, is that the heat does dissipate almost entirely after just 1 second. So during a gunfight, if you miss a lot, then you are probably dead. But if you don't, and you win the fight, your weapon will reset and be ready to go in no time at all. This makes the EE-3 amazingly good at killing one enemy right after the other. Based on this information, as well as my gameplay experience and analysis, I would say that this weapon is indeed very accurate and more of a tactical pick-your-targets kind of blaster. I do think it's most effective at medium range and can hold its own up close and personal, assuming you don't miss. When it comes to long distances, you can take out targets and still be very, very accurate, but if they run around a lot and you miss, then you'll probably just overheat or they might escape. To put it simply, it is highly rewarding for having good accuracy, and severely punishing if you don't. So let me know what you think. What are your experiences with the blaster? Leave a comment in the description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I do have a lot more content to come. Until then, may the Force be with you.